Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is me Mohammed Hassnain and welcome back to another video. So in our today's video, we are going to discuss about reactivity. We are going to discuss how different metals react with different things. In this video, we are going to discuss the reactions of metal with three different things. Number 1, reactions of metals with oxygen. Number 2, reactions of metals with water. And number 3, reactions of metal with dilute acids. So let's start. So firstly, let's start reactions of metals with oxygen. So whenever any metal reacts with oxygen, we call it a oxidation reaction. Metals react with oxygen when they get hot enough. Looking at the metals when they're open to oxygen, you can identify that which metal is more reactive. For example, you know that magnesium is more reactive than iron because magnesium reacts faster and more quickly than iron. Some metals react with oxygen very quickly without even being heated. For example, when you cut a piece of sodium, potassium or calcium from their containers, first they will appear dull, but when you cut them off, they will appear shiny. But when they react with oxygen, as soon as they are cut, they will become dull again. Some of the metals are very quickly reacting with oxygen, so they are specially kept under oil so that they can prevent it from getting reacted with oxygen. Now let's talk about the word equation for a metal reacting with oxygen. So the word equation is that metal plus oxygen equals to, we will not write a equals to sign, we will write a arrow sign. As in word equations of chemicals, you write a arrow sign. So metal plus oxygen equals to metal oxide. All the metals will be written in the same format. For example, magnesium plus oxygen equals to magnesium oxide. Sodium plus oxygen equals to sodium oxide. Some metals, for example gold, they do not react at all with oxygen. As you know that when you use pure gold or when you have a thing made up of gold, you keep it under oxygen always, but it never reacts. This is because gold is unreactive metal, and as it is unreactive, these kinds of metals are known as inert. Silver reacts very slowly with oxygen. If silver is kept under oxygen and it is not cleaned over time, then the silver will become black because a oxide coat covers the silver. This is the reaction of silver with oxygen. Another very famous reaction of oxygen with metal is rusting. So iron, which is a metal, rusts. When iron combines with oxygen, it rusts. For example, you have seen railings of different buildings. So those railings turn orange or brown over time. This is because they rust. So basically when iron forms with oxygen, it becomes rust. And the equation is iron plus oxide equals to iron oxide. Iron oxide is basically the rust which is formed. Rusting can only happen with water. Water is needed for iron to rust. Without water, iron can't rust. Although water is not there in the equation, but still water is needed. This is because that iron is not very reactive with oxygen. Example, the sheets of an old barn. For example, in this picture, you can see they were made up of iron and they rusted over time. Now let's talk about reactions of metal with water. Some metals react with water so vigorously, means they are very reactive that you can't even test them. For example, sodium and potassium, they react with water very vigorously. Sodium and potassium have to be stored under oil so that they are prevented from being reacted with the water vapor in the air. Some metals react very less with water. For example, magnesium and calcium, they do not react very much with water, but they can produce some gases, for example hydrogen. Some metals which do not react with water, they react with steam. For example, magnesium. Magnesium reacts more with steam than water. Now let's talk about the word equation for a reaction of metal with water. So the word equation is similar to with oxygen, just you have to add hydrogen. So metal plus water equals to metal oxide plus hydrogen. So this forms metal oxide plus hydrogen gas. Some metals like gold do not react with water at all. Gold is a metal which doesn't react with oxygen, neither water. So this depends on the reactivity of a metal, means how reactive a metal is. So basically this is the reactivity series which we will discuss afterwards in this video. Now let's talk about reactions of metal with dilute acids. So metal can react with different dilute acids. For example, hydrochloric acid and sulfuric acid. The word equation of a metal reacting with dilute acid is that metal plus dilute acid equals to salt plus hydrogen. Examples: magnesium plus hydrochloric acid, which will be magnesium plus hydrochloric acid equals to magnesium chloride plus hydrogen. Hydrochloric acid means it contains chloride, chlorine and hydrogen. So hydrogen will be the gas which is formed, and behind is magnesium chloride. So magnesium chloride is a salt, so that's why the equation says salt plus hydrogen. Similarly, another reaction is when sodium reacts with hydrochloric acid. So the equation will be sodium plus hydrochloric acid equals to sodium chloride plus hydrogen. In this also a salt is formed. So verily in every reaction of metal with dilute acid, salt will be formed. So in this, sodium chloride is formed, which is a very famous salt. Basically, sodium chloride is the table salt which we use in everyday life. So sodium chloride plus hydrogen is the result of sodium plus hydrochloric acid. This was how metals react with water, oxygen and dilute acid. Now, as I told you earlier, let's talk about the reactivity series. So let me tell you that metals are also listed in order according to how reactive they are. Now let's discuss the different metals which are in order. So basically the order is known as reactivity series. At top it is potassium. So potassium is the most reactive metal. Potassium, then sodium, then calcium, then magnesium, then aluminum, then carbon. Then we have zinc, iron, tin, lead, and then the last ones are copper, silver and gold. So as you might see that gold is at the last of the reactivity series. So as I also told you earlier that gold doesn't react with either water nor oxygen. So that's why gold is at the last, and potassium reacts with water also and oxygen also. That's why potassium is at the top of the reactivity series. You should memorize the reactivity series. This was all about the reactions of metal with water, oxygen and dilute acids and the reactivity series. So that you find this video informational and factual. If you did so, then don't forget to like this video, share it with your family and friends so that they can also gain this information, and also subscribe my channel for further videos. Thanks for watching.